Lùisa. I'm a singer, songwriter and music producer from Hamburg, Germany. And this is my Q&A with Silvertone guitars. Let's go. How did you get started playing guitar? So I started playing guitar when I was about 14 years old, and I think a big influence was my older brother Lucas, who played the guitar as well, and he also introduced me to a lot of great albums and songwriters. So that really got me inspired. But just also the fact that I grew up in rural Germany and, literally grew up in the woods. So there wasn't much to do as a teenager, and, playing the guitar and writing songs really helped. And so that's how I got started. How did you learn about Silvertone guitars? So I have this friend, his name is Jules. And Jules has this little business here in Hamburg. It's called Jules Guitars, and he builds and repairs guitars, but he also collects a lot of old guitars. So a few years ago, Jules came up to me and he said, well, I have this perfect guitar for you. And it turned out to be a beautiful Silvertone 1448. And I immediately fell in love with that guitar. I ended up writing all my songs for my album New Woman on this guitar, and it was the first time I learned about Silvertone guitars. And then now as you can see, I have this 1423 as well, and I'm super happy with this one as well, so I'm a big fan. What do you like most about Silvertone guitars? Well, that's an easy one. I love how they sound. I love how they look. As I said, I have this old vintage one from the 60s, which sounds incredible. But I was so surprised to discover that, the reissue sounds so great as well. And I just love the vintage look, and I'm a big fan. What is the most important thing that you look for in an instrument? So I think I really look for that certain connection that I feel when I play the instrument for the very first time. I really had that connection when I played my Silvertone guitar, for example. It's just that feeling that it inspires you to be creative, and it inspires you to write new songs. And so it's less of a technical thing that I look for. It's more that instant connection that I need to feel. What styles of music most influence you? I'd say dream pop for sure, and then alternative rock, especially from the 80s. I just love those chorus effects and reverbs all over the place, especially on guitars. And then I listen to a lot of folk music as well, and particularly for my last record, I think I was inspired by a lot of old disco records from the 70s and 80s. So lots of styles of music. As musicians, we always have a story with gear or something else at a live show. What would be a challenging story of yours? Oh God, there are so many. But like, for example, last summer, I managed to somehow start off a song in the wrong key. And my band looked at me very confused. It was super embarrassing, and I had to kind of start the song from the top. But, especially with gear, when I play my solo setup with my acoustic guitar and, lots of instruments going into a loop pedal, it's super complicated somehow, but sometimes I just manage to forget the most essential step, and that was just like checking the battery of the acoustic guitar. So at one show, I literally stood in front of 1,000 people, and I was like, damn it. So that happens. Apart from your guitar, is there something special that you must have at every show? Not really. I really need a huge bottle of water when I'm on stage, because I sing as well and I get thirsty very quickly. But that's about it. Other than that, I just need my guitar, a microphone, and I'm ready to go. What inspires your creativity? Nature, for sure. I love to go outside and take a walk, and whilst doing that, I love listening to music. And nature and other people's music, I think, are the biggest influences. And relationships, human relationships, is just like the most inspiring topic you can write a song about, I think. What's the best advice that you were given? Probably, it might sound simple, but I think it was something like do one thing at a time. And especially when you write songs or when you make an arrangement for a song, things can feel very overwhelming because there's lots of ideas and lots of instruments to kind of coordinate, and to sometimes slow down and just like do one thing at a time and really focus on one thing is just that really good advice. And yeah, meditate once in a while helps. What would be your advice to someone starting or following your steps? So I think this industry can be a very challenging place, especially as a woman, and it's just you need to have a community that you trust and that you support, that supports you, and yeah, and then it makes it so much easier to keep going.